Shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, giving double honor to the apostle, elders of Great Millstone, peace and blessings to brothers pushing the truth in sincerity and Kwam Yasha Raleigh. All right, so brother Apash Kodash, gonna give you another lesson. All right, this time going through those first couple verses in Matthew, the 24th chapter, which is the sign of the times, the signs of his coming. You know, we're very familiar with this chapter, right? And to give you a little backstory on it, of course, this is Matthew. You know, we already know Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are the Bible's considered the gospel. All right, it's their point of view of what was going on around the time of Yahweh Shai when he was walking the earth. All right. And even with that, you know, this is Matthew's point of view of when they came and asked Yahweh Shai when would his second coming be, because, you know, they already knew that Yahweh Shai would die. All right, that was prophecy, you know, and they been new, if we're being completely honest, because you got the Old Testament when you go to Isaiah, I believe it's like the 53rd chapter. You know, when you go to like Job, I think it's like 9 and 24 or 5 and 25, one of those two. Where they talk about Job said he would see his, even though the worms ate his body, he would see his redeemer. So the nation of Israel, they had been looking for the king of the Jews, as they were saying. They was looking for that redeemer, you know. And we already know that the unbelievers, they didn't accept Yahweh Shai because he didn't come in kingly apparel. They was carnal. They wasn't looking at it spiritually. They said, can no good thing come out of Nazareth? Do any good thing come out of Nazareth? Because that's where Yahushua was raised, in Nazareth. Yet he was born in Bethlehem, Judah, right? So the prophecy for that was fulfilled. And I'm just giving a little back history on this before I get into it. But, you know, the prophets, obviously, or the apostles, the prophets, they were prophets too. They weren't carnal, they were spiritual. So they could see that he was the man. You know, he did these miracles. You know, he was able to break down the scriptures like no man ever could. He was in the spirit. The Father was dealing with him one-on-one. Satan was fucking with him one-on-one. You know, it was clear signs that he was who he said he was. But you had corrupt, modern day term form would be like corrupt politicians, but the Sanhedrin was corrupt, right? You know, you had the elders in this particular time period. They were corrupt by the Roman government. So they didn't accept Yahushua as being the king because he just didn't come as a king. And even if he would have, they probably still wouldn't have accepted him because they were corrupt. Right. But just give a little back history on what I'm getting ready. Just a little back history before we read it, but we'll get right into it. Matthew 24:1. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to shew him the buildings of the temple. All right, so Yahweh Shai, and of course you see Jesus here on the screen, but we know here that his real name is Yahweh Shai. The name who you people call God, his name is Yahweh. He exists, or he is. And then who you people call Jesus, his real name is Yahweh Shai. He saves. All right, and I'm gonna bring it back. It says, and Yahweh Shai went out and departed from the temple. All right, so keep that in mind. The temple is still standing right here. The second temple is still standing. It says, and his disciples came to him for to shew him the building of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. All right, so all these temples being built, and the particular second temple was already built, if I'm not mistaken. But he prophesied, he was telling them how the second temple would be destroyed. Right. And this is something when you read on later on, the Pharisees they tried to use it to say Yahushua said he was going to tear the temple down, but that's not what he was saying. He was prophesying the future. He was telling them how This temple right here that we sitting on inside of, just came out of, however it happened, it won't be here. You know, he prophesied to him, because if right now the year is 2025 going on 2020, what is it, December 26 or something like that, going on 2026. Ain't no second temple. They talking about trying to build a third temple, which we already know the third temple is spiritual. Is spiritual. It's not a physical third temple, but we know today the fact that they talking about a third temple, that second temple is destroyed, and we know that because where's the second temple? It's been destroyed, right? So Yahweh Shah, he was a prophet. He prophesied right here. What he said, to prophesy means to speak before. He said it was gonna happen before it happened, right? So that alone right there should show you how official the scriptures are. All right, giving all praise to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. And it just show you, like, it's like a thing that you should pay attention to. If that one thing right there was true, what more for the rest of these verses that's getting ready to come up? All right. Verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, Tell us, what shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? All right, so obviously the disciples came to privately. They came to him so much like just them. This wasn't a big group conversation. It was Yahweh Shah and it was the disciples. And that was it. It says, and tell us, what shall these things be? They want to know when all this stuff gonna happen. You know, they want to know the sign of thy coming, because it was already prophesied Yahweh Shah would come a second time, right? He was telling them about that. So, just like this today, we want to know when he gonna come back. All right. It says, and the end of the world. So we're gonna go to this word world, because that don't mean a meteor gonna come hit the earth and the Lord gonna come create a new earth. Nah, that's not what it's going into. It's not going into the whole earth being exploded because the core is, nah, bro. The word earth, it says, it's the word right there in Greek is eon. You know, they even got it sounded out. It says, forever and unbroken age, perpetual of time and eternity, right? That's not what it's talking about. The world's universe. And it says a period of time or age. It's talking about a period of time. The end of this period of time, right? Because that's all we in. We in the latter days. When is the end of the latter days? When is the end of this particular time period going to end? The Roman / Babylonian / American Edomite rule. You know what I mean? When is all this going to be over? Is what they was getting at in so many words. It says, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, and shall deceive many. All right, so he giving them the signs. All right, when you start seeing these signs, just know my return to be soon. Right, and knowing that many shall come in his name, you got. I hate these names. You got Jesus, you got Allah, you got Buddha, you got motherfuckers literally claiming to be Yahweh Shah walking around. So we seeing this. The blasphemy is at an all-time high. The scriptures are becoming true. They were already true, but now we're literally seeing them play out. Many people are coming saying they are the Lord. They are the way. They're the bridge between man and God. They are the mediator. They're saying all these things, and Yahweh Shah warned us about that. All these people saying that they're the way. Let's say verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And I always remember the apostle saying how this verse particularly came into effect during like World War I, World War II. And sometimes we look at it as like we will apply it to modern things, which you still can, because we still hearing these rumors of wars. You know, ultimately we looking toward World War III when it comes to this. But this scripture came to pass, and it like officially started during World War I, World War II time period. You know, that 1915, 1944 time period, because that's the first. You know, You even go back and watch like old documentaries of like France and stuff to where they was hearing about how World War II and World War I was gonna pop off and then leave the land, and then all of a sudden great destruction came through on them. Well, that's where it starts, but it ends in our time period as well because we're also hearing these rumors of wars now. America versus Russia, the small hats versus the gutter rats, the Palestinians and India versus China, and we're hearing all this turmoil building up. We're hearing people drop the dollar and switching sides, and therefore we're hearing these rumors of wars. These summit meetings. All right, our own quote unquote president is saying these things about, well, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll tax this, we'll tax that. We're seeing these rumors of wars come to pass. Thus saith the scriptures, right? We're seeing these things. It's not like we're just making this stuff up. The scriptures have said these things a long time ago, and yet they still come into pass. It's like a testament to how real this is. It says, see that ye be not troubled. All right, don't panic. Like it say right here in the NLT, don't panic. It say, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right, so just because we see these rumors of war, the rumors of wars came to pass. Like I said, 1919, 1944, it wasn't the end yet, right? And even right now, we hear these rumors of wars. It's not the end. I highly doubt we're going to get saved in 30 days, right? Because you got the C-HIP, you got World War III. We got specific scriptures that got to come to pass. Not doubting it. Hey, Lord willing, 30 days, But being realistic, these scriptures, they have to come to pass. These are just signs that's letting us know we're getting closer. We're getting closer. Hey, it will happen in our lifetime. I truly believe that. It will happen in our lifetime. Sooner than the scriptures talk about how our salvation is nearer than what we believe. I don't know about no niggas talking about 1,000 years and 20 years, but I know this will happen in our lifetime sooner than later, right? Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. All right, so we seeing that. We're literally seeing this. Nation against nation. Kingdom against kingdom. We got the Moabites going at it with the Ammonites, and the Israelites with the Edomites, and the Assyrians with the Syrians, and them and them and them and them. The nations is fighting against each other. It's a free-for-all in the world right now. All right. It says, and kingdom against kingdom. Again, you got the U.S. versus Russia. You got this country versus that country, and that country versus this country, and they allied, and they allied, and they enemies, and they enemies. The scripture's been telling us this was going to happen. It says, and there shall be famines. We seeing that now. You go over there. It wasn't that long ago in Syria. I think they still doing it. They getting grass, and they eating it just to survive. This is a great famine. And it's going to be an even greater famine here in America. When those storehouses close up, when the fish gates close up, all right, it's prophecy. It's gonna happen. You ain't gonna be able to go to Burger King and get your hamburger. You ain't gonna be able to go get fast food. You ain't gonna be able to eat meat. A lot of people are gonna starve slowly to death. That's a serious death. If you starve to death, the Lord have a serious indignation against you. And it's gonna be a great famine here in Babylon the Great. All around the world, but specifically here, when it hit here, we're going to know. It say, and pestilences, we saw that in the year 2020, that how serious the Lord could shut down the earth. People was, quote unquote, giving the points of it to the elites and these different scientists, but ultimately that was the Lord. Because they've been wanting to release things like that for the longest, but the Lord allowed it to play out like that. Because like I said, the elites, they've been releasing shit and wondering why it's not working. That was the Lord ultimately. That was these scriptures coming to pass. And we haven't even seen it come into full effect yet. Wait till everybody that took the chip break out with sores, and wait till ain't no more medicine out here. So people illnesses going to be showing through all the way through. All right. It says in earthquakes in diverse places. All right, so we could look up now. It's earthquakes all throughout the earth. We had an earthquake here in Cleveland. What was it, a couple years ago? I think the last time before that was like 1950 or 1960. But this is a place that does not we don't have tectonic plates here in Cleveland, Ohio. You know, we're like kind of we're in the Midwest. We're locked dead in the middle of land. There's no tectonic. You know, where tectonic plates are, you would be more used to volcanoes and earthquakes. Is, you know, big ass plates rubbing against each other. Here, it's unexpected to get an earthquake from, and this is just here. What about this land, that land, this land, that land? You go around the world, it's probably earthquakes happening in unique places. You know, I think it's like 7,000 earthquakes that happen every day, about 300 of them that you can actually feel. All right, so these scriptures are not going to lie. There are earthquakes happening in diverse places, and they're only going to turn up from here. It says, all these be the beginning of sorrow. Yeah, these beginning of sorrow. Do this sound like a fucking happy day? Earthquakes in diverse places, famines, people starving to death, pestilences, people sickly on the ground, and they fucking pus and grossness all everywhere. Nations against nations and kingdoms fighting against fucking F-150 jets in the sky while niggas is starving to death on the ground. All right, this don't sound like a good day. Do it. It's the beginning of sorrows. All right. Damn, they're Jacob's trouble. It says, Matthew 24:9, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted. They shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Yeah, they gonna blame us for this. You know why? Because we was prophesying this. They gonna remember the words we said, the unbelievers. You know, that's why the scripture said, when we brought in front of the princes, think not what we gonna say, because the spirit it's gonna help us. You know, we know these things gonna happen. Bro, the apostle said when 911, you know what I'm saying, 9/11 happened, they came and grabbed them up. But they didn't go to the Muslim mosque, or they didn't go to the Islam temple. They just came and grabbed them up. Why? Why you think? Because we teaching in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, and we not affiliated. We're not backdoor open to any agency, government agency. We're not no 501(c)(3) charter, none of that type of stuff. So they gonna look at us and blame us because everything we saying that, hey, Ezekiel 33:33, a prophet, then shall a prophet be known among you, because everything we saying is gonna come true. All right, and then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. Hey, you gonna have people they're gonna turn away from this truth, because it's gonna get real ugly. It's gonna get real hard. When all you got is the brotherhood. You know, some people need they carnal family. Some people need they woman. Some people need they kids, and that's how they never was really a part of this. Then, if that's what you need, you know, I'm in this for the long run. I'm in this for Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It's things that I want. Yeah, I hope my family gets saved. Yeah, I hope I keep my woman. Yeah, I hope my kids straight. But that ain't necessarily promised. Everybody's family is not gonna get saved. Most women are gonna turn on us in this time period, and our kids, that's up to the Lord. To be completely honest with you, you could try to manifest destiny all you want to. Hey, you gonna be offended, and you gonna be one of them niggas that betray one of us. You gonna turn back and say, I can't do it. You know, Lord willing, you know, it's just gonna show that. Hey, that's why the Lord coined this year the year of apostasy, fallouts. You know what I mean? Because these niggas, it only get harder from here, and they're not built for it. It's easy to be a brother when we at the fucking barbecue. Who gonna be a brother when that persecution come in? All right. You know, I'm gonna end it right there. You know, I hope that was edifying. Just a couple quick verses to go over. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua Bahashem Rekar Kadash, giving double honor to the apostle, elders, great millstone, peace and blessings. But push this truth and sincerity and Kwam Yasharallah.